January 12 of this year at 4:56 p.m. And exactly about 35 seconds, more than 200,000 lives may have been lost in Haiti, and an untold number of casualties, as well as at least 1 million people lost their homes. So the scale of the devastation is unimaginable. In fact, I had a medical doctor friend of mine who just returned from Haiti last weekend, and he told me that what we have seen on TV is nothing compared to the reality, because apparently a good deal of the images are censored. And he implored me to go down and see with my own eyes. So apparently the destruction is much more serious than we have seen on television. And that, as you know, what we've seen is rather distressful. And so in your being here tonight, you are helping to Haiti to reconstruct. But I think before I talk about how you are helping, let me talk briefly about Haiti itself. It's a country that shares the island of Hispaniola with the Dominican Republic. So in the Caribbean, you have this island called Hispaniola, but there are two countries that share it. You have the Dominican Republic in the east, and then Haiti in the west. Haiti itself is a country of 27,000 square miles. So roughly speaking, it is the size of Maryland. It has 9.3 million people. Haiti, the name Haiti itself is derived from the Taino language, and it means land of mountains. So it's a very mountainous country. 80% of the land is mountainous, and the remaining 20% consists of plains and valleys. Haiti is the second oldest republic in the Americas, and the world's first black republic. It became independent in 1804 as a result of the only successful slave revolution in history. It used to be a French colony. However, in 1791, the slaves rebelled against the French, and they fought for 13 years until November of 1803, when they succeeded in defeating the French forces. And then on January 1st, 1804, Haiti declared its independence. However, it was the first and the only black country in the world at the time. And so immediately the major powers imposed an embargo on Haiti. Thomas Jefferson imposed an embargo on the country, in spite of the fact that the victory of the Haitians made it possible for the Louisiana Purchase to be accomplished. It was after the French were defeated in Haiti that Napoleon concluded that there was no way he could hold on to the Louisiana territory, of which, of course, Missouri was a part. So thanks to the Haitian victory in 1804, the size of the U.S. territory was doubled almost overnight. That's the connection between Haiti and the United States. Haitian freedom helped the U.S. got bigger. Nevertheless, southern planters, southern plantation owners got very scared, because here you had this independent republic in the heart of the Caribbean, and the Haitian Constitution in 1805 said any black person who was a slave anywhere that managed to reach Haitian land would be declared automatically a citizen of Haiti. So if you were a southern plantation owner in South Carolina or elsewhere, you could imagine what that meant. It meant in essence that your slaves could flee the plantation go to Haiti and automatically become free. So Southern plantation owners and people sympathetic to the South in the US Congress convinced Jefferson to impose an embargo on Haiti. And so the US did not recognize Haiti, in fact, until after the Civil War. And the first American ambassador to Haiti was none other than Frederick Douglass. There is a long history. It's the second oldest republic in the Americas. So the French naturally did not accept this new independent country. This was a very rich colony that provided, believe it or not, on the eve of the revolution, half of the world's sugar. It also provided almost 50% of France's foreign trade. So the loss of Haiti was a major blow to the French, and so they too imposed an embargo. And they threatened, of course, to re-invade. Thus, as a result of French pressure, in 1825, Haiti decided, Haiti decided to repay the French and return for recognition. In other words, this was tantamount to slaves paying their former slave masters so that they would not be re-enslaved. Okay, you get the point. And so Haiti agreed to pay France $150 million in return for recognition by France. Now, by comparison, the US paid 150 million French francs, excuse me. By comparison, the US paid 15 million francs for the Louisiana territory. If you think about it, the Louisiana territory is 800,000 square miles. Okay? The US paid 15 million. Haiti is 27,000 square miles. It paid 150 million. Okay. So this was a very burdensome so-called debt. Right? In fact, the debt was so burdensome that Haiti had to take out a loan from France in order to make the first installment. Okay. This 150 million franc was to be paid in 3 installments of equal value. Haiti did not have the money to pay the French, so he took out a loan in order to make the first installment. This came to be known in Haitian history as the double debt. And so from 1825 to 1947, Haiti was repaying the French. So imagine this poor country paying, this so-called debt for over 100 years. Okay, and basically the repayment of this so-called debt would come from the country's foreign exchange earnings. So when Haiti would sell its cocoa, its coffee, its cotton, instead of using the money to reinvest in agriculture and the economy, it would pay the French. You see? And so much of the country's poverty stemmed from the reaction of the major powers to Haitian independence. But we also have to admit that the irresponsibility, the venality, the petty squabble among Haiti's elites have also been responsible for the country's problems.